We're ready to jump in with anything that you are ready to focus upon, but you got to focus upon what matters. So if you were in a position where you, brilliant you, perfectly timed you, inspired you, had an opportunity to speak with infinite intelligence about something, about one thing, what would you choose? What is it that you want to know above all other things? Do you think that you understand that there is a receptive mode?
There has to be, yeah.
So it's logical. Do you think you have ever experienced it? Can you remember ever experiencing it? Esther experienced it this morning. Her sister called her and said, "Do you want to hear something really cute?" And Esther said, "Of course." And she said, little Ava, she's just really little, like 3 years old, said to her mother, "Mom, how far away is the North Pole?" And her mother said, "Well, I think it's about probably 10,000 miles. Ava said, "No, 4,800. Siri told me as the crow flies." Well, there was no way that Esther could not be in the receptive mode hearing that. In other words, she thought about it all morning long. She just played it over and over in her mind, thought about how incredibly wonderful that is, how these little ones are tuning right in. They know where to go get answers. And the funniest part of it was how she played her mother. She didn't say, "Mom, Siri told me how far it is to the North Pole." She's a little tiny girl wanting to examine and understand how much she can rely on what her mother says. Because she innately knows that she's born with her own guidance, you see. Her own guidance that will lead her on her path of least resistance. Her mother was going to take her well over 5,000 miles out of the way. And so we just want you to try to relax and lighten up a little bit and to trust. But we can't zap you with trust. You got to find it. And we can't encourage you to complain to us about what you don't know, because that's the opposite of what you've got to do to get to where we know you want to be, you see.
Okay.
So we can't engage in an 8-minute or an hour discussion while you explain to us how confused you are and how hard it is. That's not going to get you where you want to go. And the reason that we called you up here is because we can feel the power of your desire. We did not recall who you were when we picked you from this. The reason that Esther saw the energy around you is because you have a desire that is outstripping, outdoing your belief that is hindering. So that's why you're here. You've got enough desire to carry you, but you've got to stop keeping your doubts and those hindering beliefs active, which means you've got to stop talking about them. You've got to find a way to stop keeping them active, because that's what's holding you out of the receptive mode. We made an end run. In other words, we picked you from the crowd because we could feel the power of your desire. And law of attraction is doing that all the time. But if you're not in the receptive mode, then you're missing all the time, all the avenues, all the opportunities, you see.
I want to be in that receptive mode. It's gotten to the point where
Don't say it.
Well,
it's gotten to the point, oh, that's not the end. It'll get to another point and another point and another point and another point and another point. There is no ending to the train of resistance, and you can get going, you see. And it's all just because of one very early learned, slight misunderstanding. Somehow you got convinced that you have to work your way to your success or struggle your way there. If we could zap you with something, it would be you understanding what we understand about your value and your worthiness. If we could just infuse you with that and then just say, now just go to sleep for a little while, and when you wake up, all that self-doubt will be gone, and all that self-recrimination will be gone, and all that measuring yourself against others will be gone. But it's something we can project, but it's something that you have to match. So that's what we thought this might be about. We thought that we could love you enough and know who you really are enough and recognize your value and your talent and what's coming next, and shine a spotlight on what we know as you, and revel with you in the desire that keeps being born within you, to sort of convince you just for a little while to just try not to beat the drum of what's going wrong, and just for a little while count your blessings, even if they don't look like they're very many, and even if it doesn't seem like they're showing up very often. That's what you got to do. You got to look for the good stuff, and it will become more, because if you look for the bad stuff, it becomes more. And what's so interesting about it, there's so much good stuff coming to you. Look at you. Look at you. Do you know how many people would like to sit there and look like you look? In other words, your appearance is one of someone who has it all together. You look like someone who has the world by the tail. But you see,
What are you talking about? Because that could only be looks.
say again?
That could only be looks.
Well,
That's like words on a page that don't...
do you think most of your life you've been trying to compensate for that? Did somebody tell you, oh, you've got it too easy? It's not fair for it to be so easy for you. Look at you. Did you get some of that along your physical career? Where did you learn that stuff? Where did you pick that up? Can't you understand that this is the thought that's turned to thing, and can't you revel in the magnificence of that? You see what we're getting at? Do you sort of,
No.
kind of? Well, this is what we're going to tell you. We're going to hold you as our object of attention for the rest of your life. We're going to think about who you are. We're going to know what you know and what you want. And we're always going to be vibrationally there for you, just like we have been, and just like source energy has been. And you, little by little, will find a way to let more and more of it in, until one day we won't be having this conversation where we're trying to convince you. You will be feeling it, and you will be expressing it to us in a way that it is as if you are trying to convince us. Abraham, you have no idea how my life has turned around. I wish I could explain to you the incremental improvement, but it happened so gradually, I sort of kind of lost sight of it. But it seemed like every day things just got better and better for me. I just feel an ease about life. I'm no longer struggling to try to make things happen. I finally accepted that my goodness is enough without me defending it to anyone or proving it to anyone. I'm just sitting there and letting it be. And good things are swarming all around me all the time, just like the dolphins that I saw so long ago. Yeah. Try to feel understanding when we say to you, it's going to be okay, and now we're not going to talk anymore. All right? Just take what we gave you and try to find something in it that was meaningful for you, and then see if things don't get just a little bit better right away. Yes? Say yes. Say yes.
You know, so much to ask.
Say yes. 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 Yeah. 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 They're clapping for you. They could feel your receiving mode. They can sense what's coming for you. They could feel the futility of pushing forward, because they've all lived it, haven't you? Any one of you could imagine yourself sitting there having that conversation with us about something, couldn't you? No exceptions. Yes.